Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is XPLovecat and I make content related to the horror writer from the 1920s, H.P. Lovecraft, and things inspired by him. So today I'm going to be talking about the Call of Cthulhu RPG, which holds a very special place in my heart. This is my favorite RPG system, and I get really excited to talk about it. I'm going to be giving a brief overview of the system, what it is, very basics, and some of the reasons why I just love playing it. So the Call of Cthulhu RPG was created in 1981 by Sandy Peterson. And I actually got to attend a seminar at Gen Con this year that he was running, talking about Call of Cthulhu monsters and how to fight them in real life. So it was pretty fun. If you want to hear more about that story, let me know down in the comments below and I can make one. The Call of Cthulhu RPG is where you make investigators that help unravel mysteries and you team up to fight the horrors of the Cthulhu mythos, or attempt to. Most of the time you either die, go insane, or run away, but that's the overall intention of the system. So Call of Cthulhu is a skill-based D100 system. You make investigators that have attributes and skills that help you create a team of people that do a lot of investigation. So one of the classic quotes from H.P. Lovecraft is, "The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear, and the strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown." And this really epitomizes the Call of Cthulhu system, because it's all about investigation and your characters start out as average people that don't know anything about the mythos, and then they slowly get exposed to these horrors and go insane. So here are the top 5 reasons why I love the Call of Cthulhu RPG. Number 1 is obviously the theme. So it's all inspired by H.P. Lovecraft's creations and his works. So you're always encountering weird, unknown creatures or the Cthulhu mythos. So you know it's always going to be something creepy and dark and weird, which is pretty fun. It's also pretty cool to see Lovecraft's creations and how a character would react to them in a real life situation, and the insanity and chaos that results from these Cthulhu mythos horrors being on Earth. Number 2 is character creation. So what's really cool about Call of Cthulhu is you make an average person with a day job, which I think is pretty hilarious. So most of the time your characters don't actually know anything about the Cthulhu mythos, and you slowly get exposed to that and go insane over time. So you could just be a librarian who has a normal day job, and then these murders start happening in your town and you feel compelled to investigate them and team up with a group of other characters with different occupations and, as a result, different skills. So for an example, if you're a scientist, you can have engineering or physics skills or something that would help contribute in weird and unexpected ways for certain situations. It's always kind of hilarious to me that these people are just average people running around with day jobs. I just think it's amusing. What's also cool about it is your characters actually get certain detriments if you reach a certain age. So unlike other systems where it's like the older you get, the better you are because the more experience you have, it's actually not generally the case, because you might create a character that's 60 years old but has some physical detriments as a result, which is pretty cool. And in general, throughout the game, your character gets exposed to these things and starts to deteriorate both physically and mentally. So that progression is always fun and interesting to watch. So number 3 is the heavy roleplay aspect of this game. Unlike some games where you would quote unquote roll to hit, or you would say, my character persuades this person. This is much more reliant on being descriptive about your actions and actually playing them out in some situations, depending on how your group likes to play. But I really love that aspect. So instead of it just being more of a mechanical grind, especially in combat situations, you're actually describing what your character would do. So I take this soap dispenser and I throw it at the enemy is a perfectly valid move, and it's on the keeper to figure out how that reacts and what rolls you would make to make that happen. So Call of Cthulhu is a lot more fluffy on the rules, which I generally am the keeper for my group, and I really like that because I'm not always the best at remembering all the specific details of the rules. But in Call of Cthulhu, because it is more fluffy, it's a lot more go with the flow and story-driven, role-playing, and making sure that everyone's having fun. So I really love that part of the RPG. So number 4 is easy leveling. I love this aspect of the game. So instead of having to spend hours trying to optimize how you want your character to be or what specific sword you want for your character because this stat is better than that stat and you can upgrade with gems and blah, 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 blah. That has a time and place, absolutely. And I know some people love that. But for me, especially with everyone having really busy lives, I love that one of my friends can come over, we can play a few hours of this game, and then they go home and they don't have to level their character. You do get an opportunity to improve your skills at the end of a session, and you can roll to try and improve skills that you use during that session. But that's it, you're done. So it's a lower commitment on the player's ends. You guys just set aside a few hours every other week or so, get together, have a great time, do a 5-minute potential level at the end, and then you go home and you're done. No more commitment. And number 5, and by far the best part of this RPG, is the insanity aspect of it. So as you get exposed to this Cthulhu mythos, your character may encounter things that make them go insane. You lose points if you see certain creatures or see certain images that are maddening to a normal human. And once you reach a certain threshold in losing those points, you may have things such as a bout of madness or temporary insanity and eventually maybe indefinite insanity. So these, especially the bouts of madness, which happen in the moment, can lead to some crazy stories, usually the best ones, and some funny interactions. So whether your character goes and has amnesia for the rest of the combat round, or they start attacking one of the other PCs, it can lead to some crazy fun situations. And what's more Lovecraftian than your players going insane? Normally in other RPGs, your character would just have physical repercussions and die maybe from a major wound, which can definitely happen in Call of Cthulhu. Don't get me wrong, you can die in combat very easily. But what I find most fun is when characters actually get so exposed to this chaos and destruction and madness that they go insane and are eventually knocked out of the game because they can't function as a normal human being. So Call of Cthulhu is by far my favorite system to play. Let me know down in the comments below if you've ever played the system, and if you have, what's your favorite aspect of the game. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and join me next time. Bye.